This is salmon jerky. I've been trying to perfect this for 15 years. This is the Sahara Food Dehydrator. I'm gonna be showing you how to set up, use, and I'm gonna be giving a full and honest review on the Sahara Food Dehydrator. And I'm gonna show you guys how I made these salmon jerkies. Let's get started. Welcome to Impossibly Kosher. My name is Ben and I am extremely excited for today's video. Jerky. Strips of delicious, dehydrated, chewy meat. In this case, fish. They're dry, they're chewy, they're flavorful. Sometimes they have teriyaki, sometimes spicy, sometimes just salt and pepper. A great snack. About 15 years ago, I was gifted my first salmon jerky. And when I tasted it, I was blown away. The texture was soft, was chewy, was not too hard. It was a bit salty, it was delicious. Now, I've actually been trying to find that product for years, but no luck. I've had many replacements that ended up being too fishy, too dry, too salty, having a weird taste, having a weird smell. Nothing really hit that spot. When I started Impossibly Kosher about 2 years ago, I said, look, I have to figure a way to make that salmon jerky. I just have to figure a way. And I've tested dozens of variations, whether it's the oven method, the air fryer method, in a toaster oven, all of them fail big time. In the oven, it can't stay at that 150 mark for too long, so it fluctuates, which ends up cooking the fish instead of really dehydrating it. In the air fryer, I don't know what's wrong with that. It just doesn't work properly. Maybe there's not enough air circulation that goes at the bottom level. Probably that's why you have to turn it so often. And in the toaster oven, same kind of concept as the oven. The only real option to dehydrate jerky and to make your own is with a food dehydrator. Now, I never really opted into getting one because my wife never let me. Also, it's really bulky. They're like big, they're round, they don't collapse. They're usually ugly units. So how do dehydrators work? They work by circulating hot air over the food that sits on trays inside the unit. The circulation of hot air causes the moisture to be drawn out of whatever is inside the unit, leaving a dehydrated result. That's why you can make fruit roll-up, you can make jerky, you can make dehydrated apples or mangoes or what have you. And stick around and subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna be showing you how to make all of them. And also, just before we get started, if you're a jerky lover, give this video a thumbs up. I saw on another food channel, the Sahara by Broad and Taylor, and was really blown away. I reached out and they agreed to send me one for free. Now guys, this is not a paid post. I got one gifted and I'm gonna be giving an honest and fair review. So stick around until the end. I'm gonna be going in detail on the pros and cons of the Sahara Dehydrator. And of course, we're gonna be testing this jerky, see how it came out. So once they agreed to send me one, I had to beg my wife. But she finally came around, she agreed, all because of one feature, the collapsibility. The Sahara Dehydrator collapses into itself and fits so well into a portable bag. Without further ado, let's get dehydrating. The Sahara comes with a few things right out of the box. You get 6 racks, either in plastic or in stainless steel. I got the stainless steel model. You can get some silicone mats as well when you're making things like fruit roll-up, anything that's a liquidy consistency so that it doesn't leak through. You get, of course, the dehydrator. This one came with a nice case for all those little trays and shelves. And this is how we set it up. First, you unscrew the sides. Now you remove the cover, expand the unit upwards, and simply pull it towards the front. The first few times may take a little bit of fidgeting, but once you get the hang of it, it works like a charm. Get the cover back on, plug it in, and that's it. So now I told you the complicated steps on how to set up the Sahara. Let's go ahead and start the fish jerky. I'm gonna be making it 3 different ways. The first one is gonna be an overnight cure. So we're not gonna need the dehydrator tonight, so let's go ahead and put it away. Cover off, collapse, fold on itself, cover back on. Isn't that simple? Now the 3 different types of jerkies that we're gonna be making is a soy sauce version, a overnight dry brine, and a wet brine. These 2 are salt. This one has pepper. This has a soy sauce mixture. What's consistent with all of them, you're gonna need to cut the salmon 1/4 of an inch thin. Usually you want to go against the grain, so from head to tail. The soy sauce version you're gonna need a quarter cup of soy sauce, so about 60 ml, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. You can add a little more, it'll give it a nice little sweet touch. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of freshly cracked black pepper, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. You can also use about 4 crushed cloves of garlic. For the dry brine, it's gonna be 1 part salt, 1 part sugar. So a quarter cup salt, a quarter cup sugar. For the wet brine, it's gonna be 1 part salt, 6 parts water, and then freshly cracked black pepper on top later on. Let's get started. So let's start off with the dry brining. What you do, salt and sugar in a bowl and mix it very well. I like to use my fingers or a fork, spoon, makes no difference. Then you get a non-reactive, pretty deep tray. I'm using a Pyrex, which is made out of glass, so non-reactive. You lay a bed of the salt sugar mix and you start layering the salmon. Then if you don't have enough room, you put a nice coat over that salmon and put the next layer. And then brining mixture, salmon, and finish with the brining mixture. Cover it up, put it in the fridge for no more than 12 hours. After that, you're gonna get a rock. It's gonna be salty as heck and it won't be enjoyable. Minimum 5 hours, maximum 12 hours. So, I'll see you tomorrow. With the magic of editing, it's tomorrow.
Time travel!
And we're ready to get started. You take them out of the fridge and you rinse them very well. If you left them 12 hours, you can let them soak for about 20 minutes so that any salt that has penetrated a bit too deep mellows out a bit, but you don't need to if you like a saltier taste. You should see right away how hard and dense that salmon is already. You pat each piece dry, you get it onto the racks. Now I made a little mistake. I should have put all my salmon on a thinner mesh rack, but it's not gonna break this dehydrating. So the dry brine one is ready to go. Next, the wet brine. Like I mentioned, 6-to-1 ratio of water to salt. Mix it very well, and actually you can bring it up to a boil and then let it cool down completely. You don't want to poach the salmon, you want to brine it. So the water and that liquid mixture needs to come down in temperature. So you have your strips, you just put them in a bowl, you pour the water over it, you cover it and leave it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. Not more than 3, because then it's going to be insanely salty. Then get it out of the fridge, wash off any excess salt, pat it dry with a paper towel, get it on the drying rack, and crack some freshly cracked black pepper right over it. Flip them over and do the same. Now that one's ready for the dehydrator. The final one, the soy sauce. In a bowl, mix together the soy sauce, the sugar, the lemon, the black pepper, the garlic powder, and if you want to add a little bit of heat, go ahead and add in some chili flakes. Mix it real well, and then get in a Ziploc bag the salmon strips, pour the sauce inside of it, close up that bag, and shake it really well. Gently, but well. You want every piece of salmon completely coated and covered. Now you get it in the fridge, you give it 3 to 5 hours, and when it's done, take it out, just pat dry it, no rinsing here. The time in the fridge gives that flavor time to penetrate deep into the salmon. So you patted it dry, now layer it on the drying rack, and it's ready for the dehydrator. Get all 3 trays of salmon in the dehydrator. Go ahead and press power. And for the fish, you're gonna wanna aim for 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Recommended time is 3 to 5 hours. We're gonna see how that actually works. And stick around to the end. I'll give you a little bit of feedback on timing of dehydrating. And now all you gotta do is wait.
3 hours later.
Close to 3 hours have passed. Nothing, not even a glimpse. You put another 3 hours.
3 hours later.
Same story. Once, twice, 3 times. I extended the time 3 times because the fish was not dehydrating. Until finally it was like 10 o'clock at night. I started at 8 a.m. I said, that's enough. I turned them off. At that temperature, you gotta let them cool down. They have to come to room temperature, even cool down a bit more. That allows the flavors to settle. It allows the textures to set. All right, so let's go ahead and do our taste test. We're gonna start with the dry brine. As you see, the first piece I picked up breaks apart a little easily. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the inside looks cooked. Very salty. Yeah, very salty.
That's a little salty.
No. So this one I'm not a fan of, to be honest with you. So now let's go ahead and try the wet brine. So the dry brine, not a fan of. The wet brine. It's not bad actually. It also tastes like a bit like cooked fish. The black pepper is nice. It's not overly salty. I thought that it would be way saltier. What I would do on this one is I would add much more sugar to the brine solution. So if I added 1 cup of salt, I would add also a cup of sugar to mellow it out a bit because it is quite salty. Now let's try the soy sauce. I don't know why, I have a feeling this one's gonna be the best. Look at that. Easily pulls apart. That's really nice actually. Also like cooked fish a bit. Instead of it being dehydrated, it's more like cooked fish, but the flavor is nice, the flavor is there. This piece is the one that looks the driest. Let me see how it came out. The soy one is definitely the best. I would remake this. I would put some chili flakes. These two I wouldn't touch, honestly, but this one I would. But none of them taste like the one I had 15 years ago. I'm still on the hunt. What you can do to make this a bit sweeter is you can add some maple syrup, like a glaze on top as it's dehydrating. You put a nice little brush of maple syrup. That could add a really nice texture and taste to these guys. These ones I really wouldn't touch. All right, so now let's talk about the Sahara. First things first, like I mentioned, it is an incredibly good looking dehydrator. That is the only reason that I have it here today. It's easy to set up, it looks pretty. When you take it out of the box, go slow. Read the instructions and don't think you know how to set it up because chances are you might damage it. The box on the outside is plastic, so if you do something wrong, you could damage your unit. It has a filter on the back, which is nice. The fan is highly efficient. It's actually quite quiet, which is nice. It doesn't become overpowering the whole house. The window on the front is nice. You can see the process as it's going. And what I really like is that the temperatures range from all the way down to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and then fan mode. And the maximum it goes up to is 165. And it holds the temperature very consistently. The Sahara itself, easy to set up, easy to collapse. What I really like is the traveler's case that allows everything to fit in one unit. So all the trays, all the shelves, all the little mesh things and silicone mats, everything fits all together and can be stored easily. So why do I like dehydrating? I like dehydrating whether it's, fruit roll-up or chewables or, dried mango or dried apples or any fruits and vegetables or jerky, if the recipe can come out right. Number one, I get to choose exactly what I'm putting into the food that I'm eating. At the store, you don't really know what's inside. Here, you have full control. The next thing, I get to play around with the flavors that I like. So, you mess up on a few, you get a few right, you tweak it later, and you make it perfect for yourself, for your own taste buds. And you can make the portion sizes whatever you'd like. You don't have those little bits and the big ones in the bag. This is all under your control. You can extend that shelf life exponentially. The next reason why I'm fascinated with dehydrating is because it's healthier snacking. These are easy snacks to make. They're delicious. Whoever likes dry food loves dry food. Like I mentioned, do it yourself equals cheaper. And finally, when done right, it's just simple. Now, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm gonna have a whole series of dehydrating different things, from veggies to fruits to different type of jerkies. I'm gonna be trying salmon jerky again, you better believe it. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section and go ahead and check this video out. It's not a dehydrator, but I'm showing you how to make different types of white fish and how they both came out. All right guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.